Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a new chapter, chapter 3, and that's going to be input, output variables, operators. We're going to do case project 3.1, which is the Catalina Island Boat Express app. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to open up our folder. I already made a new folder, already made a new case. So, And the reason I made a new folder in case is because I was already recording chapter 3. But Ramsey was barking, so I took a break, and I played with him for a little bit, and he fell asleep. But right now, I guess that I'm talking, he's waking up. But anyways, okay, so I'm gonna start a new project, and an empty project, and we're gonna call it what the book wants. So Catalina Island Boat Express app, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the right directory, and then load the project. Okay, so while we wait for Android Studio to build the project, let's go ahead and download an image of pretty much a ferry image. And so this app is pretty much going to be the user's going to enter a number of tickets they want for the ferry, and they're going to select an island because we're going to use a slider control, actually a spinner control, my bad. And they're going to select different islands, kind of like a tour, I guess. You kind of get the big picture when we do it. Oh my gosh, that's what I was going to do. I just remembered something I was going to do for these videos. Okay, so go ahead and get the image. This one's alright. Where'd it go? Okay, so control, save image as, very lowercase. Save it, close it, and we're going to export it to a PNG. Save it, close it, this one to trash, this one, this one, this one, drag it. I'll go ahead and copy it right now. Okay, so we're here, the app loaded, so let's go ahead and do it. So we're just going to have two screens, and main activity, and then end on create. Okay, so it's going to have two screens. Let's go ahead and import the image. The first screen is just going to be, the title, the image, and the user input for number of tickets, the spinner for which island, and then to commute the cost, which is going to be a button. Let's go ahead and add those strings. So let's open the editor, add text title, and that's just going to be cat, or we could just call it ferry tickets. Okay, and then we're going to have image, ferry, image of ferry in water. Okay, and then we're going to have button cost and compute cost. For the spinner, I don't really remember if we make it one or not, or number of tickets. We'll go ahead and play along with it. Oh, you know what? I think we do. Yeah, we do. So for the input, it's going to have a hint, and I'll show you what that hint is. So we're going to do a hint, and then number of tickets. You'll understand what that means in a second. Number of tickets. Okay, and I think for the spinner we don't need a string. Okay, go ahead and save it. So let's go ahead and do the stuff we already know how to do. And another new thing we're going to do is mess with the theme. So we're going to go ahead, select our phone. Go ahead and do the layout first. Select our phone. Actually, for this app, we're not going to have this layout. So what we're going to do now is go to app theme, more themes. We're going to type in dark, and we're going to look for no action bar. Or was it black? Yeah, it's black, no title bar. And that title bar is that green thing that we see. So right now we have a black screen. Okay. And so what we also need to do is go to styles. So when we're in the styles tab, how it says parent theme.control.dark, I'm just going to go ahead and delete all that. Okay. Save it. Close this tab. Strings, we go ahead and close it. So let's go ahead and add our title. Go ahead and associate the title string with our title. Text title, okay. And then we're going to make it size 36. And then move it all the way to the top. Okay. So there we go. Ferry tickets. Now let's add the image. Project ferry. Go ahead and do image ferry. Add the constraints. Once we add the constraints, we're going to go ahead and do content description. Image of ferry and water. And let's go ahead and do the width and height. So width, height. Go ahead, move it up to 500 maybe. 500. Go ahead and increase that size. Okay, so there's our ferry. Now we're going to add the user input. So we go text, and they're just going to be number of tickets. So we're just going to use just regular number. There you go. Okay, and then we're going to do this text number of tickets. Okay, we're going to add some constraints. And remember we have that string called number of tickets. So we're going to go ahead and go to hint. Wait for that slider to disappear. And the number of tickets. Alright, so right now it looks white. Let's go ahead and ignore that real quick, because when we open the app it'll change. So let's go ahead and raise this to 200. Actually we'll do 300, see what that's at. That's pretty good. Okay, and we can also change the size, but that's a good size. We might have to shrink it actually. But let's go ahead and look for gravity. Open it, and then we're going to want it center. There you go. Okay, so we have that. Now we need the spinner. So I believe it was in legacy, excuse me, maybe widgets. Might have to search for it. Containers, I remember it's containers. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and put that here. There. Okay, so we have containers. Go ahead and call it SPN tours. Okay. Go ahead and set some constraints.
It's been a while since I've done this, and then as we progressed in class for the bigger chapters, we only did, I mean, it was a separate class, so it was a 10-week course. We went pretty fast, and we didn't get practice, so hopefully these videos are going to help enforce my skills as well.
So right now we have the design view. If we go to text and we look for a spinner, spin tours, we have the width. Let's go ahead and set that to 1, and then watch what happens. See how I shrunk it? So we go here to our spinner tours, we go ahead and raise that to 300 and just kind of mess with it, with the numbers. Okay. And lastly, we just need a button. So button cost, add our constraints.
So right now, what I'm going to do is just show you this. I'm going to load up the app. We can keep it all costs. We can actually make it bigger too. Do 30 screen. Okay. Go ahead and actually move this
Down a bit. It's not bad. Alrighty. So go ahead and save it and let's run the app. It's not going to be functional, but I just want to show y'all what it's going to look like. So right now it's loading. This shouldn't be here, so I forgot to do some code for that. But see how this is in black and we don't have anything here for now. And actually, we still have to add that. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and close it. And then we're going to go here because this styles one shouldn't be here. That no action bar. Okay, let's go ahead and save it and let's run that. Okay, sweet, it worked. Okay, let's go here and then this strings. And we're gonna add a spinner. So this is when it gets interesting because we're gonna name it. Okay, so let's do this. So we're gonna have it in an array. So we're gonna do string. What the heck happened here? So we're gonna do string dash array. There you go. And then we're gonna call it SPN Tor. Okay. And then once that happens, we're gonna go do that. Okay. And then inside here is when we're gonna have our items. So we're gonna do item, and then we're gonna call it Mexico. White spacing is okay. Item. We call it France. Then item. And then Spain. Okay. Hopefully, actually, let's get rid of it. The white spacing. Just be on the safe side. Okay. And let's go ahead and close this gap. And that's pretty much all we're going to do here. Save it, close the strings tab, go back to our XML, and then here, spin tours. We're going to go ahead and dialog. We're going to do dialog, and then entries. We're going to do spin tour. Hit OK. Okay. And now we have it saying Mexico. So we'll go ahead and save it, and now let's run it. So here we have Mexico, France, Spain. Okay. What we could also do is go ahead and close this. Because right now it just has that. The person's like, okay. Like, say an individual doesn't really understand it, so we would go prompt. And we could actually add a prompt. So we're going to go back to our strings tab, open editor, add a string, and then prompt. And then we're going to do please select a location to tour. Hit OK. Close it. Close it. Prompt. Please select a location to tour. Hit OK. And then with that dialog, that's what the dialog box does. It will give that prompt. So we're going to save it, run the app again. And while that's going in, that's loading, we're going to go ahead and code the button to the next screen. So okay, we have this thing, this prompt. Please select a location to tour, and then we can select France, and then boom. Okay, so right now that's pretty much, we have the first screen pretty much coded and designed. So now what we're going to do is code the button. So we're going to go Java, file, and then what we know so far, which is to instantiate the button class to button control. I've been saying widget, but it's actually a control. Go ahead and take that all out. Okay, so we're going to do button and see how they imported. Button cost equals parentheses button find ID card ID button cost. Okay, so once the person does that, they're going to go to a new screen that said on click listener new view being like a new activity, and button cost. Okay, and then start activity, new intent, then main activity dot this comma cost dot class. Okay, save it, go ahead and add the new activity. And then call it cost. Finish. So it's loading. Go ahead and do what we do here. Once it finishes, okay. So end cost activity, and then end on create. Okay. Show our imports. And this is where the code's going to be placed at. So pretty much, okay, number of buttons, number of tickets, and then the island. I'm just thinking to myself out loud. So we're going to have variables. So in Java, we have a couple of variables. Actually, I don't think we're going to have any code here. It's not what it looks like on this point. Okay, so the first thing the book does is they initiate the variables above the override. So we're going to declare variables. Okay, so we have a double, which is a number with decimals, cost per ticket, and we could set that to 79.99. And then we have an integer, which is just a number without decimals, and it says negative or positive. So number of tickets. And then we have a double again, which is the cost, total cost. So total cost. And then we have a string, which is going to be our spinner. And that's going to say tour choice. Okay. So once we're done with that, we can go down here. And then so we instantiate the button. What we could also do is we're going to declare. Okay, so user input. User input. So we're going to finalize the user's input. This is a keyword in the Java programming languages and probably other languages. I just know Java. So we're going to finalize this. Edit text, which is an Android widget. Tickets. And this equals edit text, find by view, and then r.id.arttickets. So number of tickets. Okay. And then we're also going to final the spinner, and then tour equals spinner, and then find by activity, and I think I did a text, or I did spin. Oh wait, whoopsies. That's spin tours. Okay. So we have that. We have the button initiated. Okay, so inside the button, we're gonna go in our so right here, above the override, we're gonna finalize the text view. Text view result, and this is pretty much just gonna be what the user, just pretty much a prompt. You'll understand in a second. And that equals double parentheses text view, and then set this parentheses find through ID r.id.text result, and we don't have a result right now. So let's go ahead and make one. So let's go strings, variables, strings. Go ahead and okay, activity cost 6 months. Keep it. Okay. So let's have a string called text result. Text result. Okay. And let me go ahead and see what the prompt states. So one-way trip to actually my bad. It's not gonna have any variables. We could have it just to see where it's at. So we could do that. So watch. Go ahead and close it. Keep that open, why not? Go to our main Excel. Actually, right here. Okay. So let's go ahead and start designing that. And main Java should have updated. Yeah, it's here, text result, but it's not on here. OMG, am I a goof? Yeah, we didn't need a second screen. My bad, guys. So, yeah, we didn't need a second string. I got way ahead of myself. Okay, so what we could do is go back to our layout for our activity main. Compute cost, let's go ahead and raise the button to 200, 150. Okay, and then here is when we're going to add the text result. Okay, hit enter. Go ahead and raise that to 150. Okay, and associate it with text result, which is just the dashes. Okay, so that's going to be what, when they hit this button, it's going to go here. The text result is going to display. So text button, we could delete this stuff right here. Okay. So we could actually delete it here too as well. Hopefully it deletes this, does not. Delete that ourselves. Okay, we should be fine. Hopefully, I don't like how it's red. I wonder why it still is not finding it. Oh, this is just that autofill hints thing. It's always going to pop up. Okay, text result. And text result. Text result. That should be finding it. Now everything's red. Oh well. So let's go ahead and just run it, see if it runs. Okay, build failed. Text cannot be converted to text field. Okay. That's why. OMG. Okay. Now we're good. Alright, so we can actually close this out. I was freaking out for a second, guys. Okay. Alright, so now we have it loaded. Cool, we could actually start programming. So when they press the button, because this is when it happens, on click, meaning when they press the button, we're going to have some code. So here's what's going to happen. Number of tickets equals, and now we always have to parse. So remember how it's integer on top? We're going to make it an integer. Dot parse int, and then the string, because everything that the user inputs is a string, so we're parsing it to an integer. Tickets dot get text, and then parentheses. There you go. And here we have the parentheses. We're going to do dot toString. Okay, awesome. So that's the first thing. It's going to parse it to an integer so it can actually calculate it. And then we're going to do total cost equals cost per ticket multiply. This is a multiplying sign. This is an adding sign, subtracting, dividing, and if you want a remainder. But we'll get into that when I begin my Java course. Okay, so times cost per ticket times number of tickets. Okay, I'm gonna close that, and we're gonna do a decimal format, which is gonna, like you see right now, decimal format. I'm going to go ahead and call it currency. Okay, and that equals new decimal format. And inside here, we're just going to do quotes, money sign, and we want just a standard money format. Okay, and then group choice, which I actually named, what I name it, Tor, right? Tor choice. Tor choice equals Tor, the spinner Tor, whatever the user selects as a spinner, Tor dot get selected item, and then dot toString. So we're going to convert that item to a string. Okay, and then result dot set text, and in the parentheses cost for space, and then we're going to add our variable so we don't have to type it out, plus Tor choice plus, and notice how I left that space there, so there's a space. So after this space is going to be the Tor choice, and I'm going to add a space, and then is, and then add a space, and then also concatenate. This is what the word means when we do this. Currency dot format, and then go ahead and do total cost, and then we're good to go. So when we hit play, we run the app, see if it works, and then I'll kind of slowly go back and re-explain everything. See if everything runs. Oh, please don't be right now. Okay, thank God. Where's this expected at? Okay, so it says I'm missing a parentheses. I'm not though. Go ahead and reformat code. Okay, here we go. I forgot this space. So that should work now. Go ahead and save it. Go ahead and run. Actually hit cancel and just debug it. Right? Yeah, debug it. Okay. Let's go ahead and see. Everything's good to go, so let's run it. Yeah, so right now I just forgot the other space to add on to the sentence. So we have cost for space plus this Tor choice, which whatever the user selected, because the Tor choice becomes a toString, which means it becomes a word. And then plus, and let's add on to the sentence, space is, and then space plus another word that we converted to a toString, which is, this is the string, plus currency format total cost. Okay, so the app's loading. Okay, so we have our title, our image, number of tickets. Let's do 5. Check. And then here, we're going to select France. Go ahead and bring this down. Let me click on the screen, see if it goes away. And this back button does it. Okay, good. France, compute cost. Cost for France is $399.95. So let's go back here. Cost for Tor choice, which is whatever the user selected, and Tor choice is just a string. But if we go here, spinner Tor equals spinner. So whenever the user selects France here, Tor choice equals Tor dot get selected item, which was France, and then convert that to a toString. Now you're probably asking yourself, why do we have tor choice and tor? And that's because like how we do the button, how we have button cost equals button widget. So on this side is the app side. So on the app we have a button, and that's called button cost. But on this side is the Java side. So we have a button, and we're going to also name it button class. So here we have on the Java side a tor choice, and on the app side, which is on this side, we have a spinner, which is called tor. So our tor choice, which is a string, equals the tor, which is a spinner that is the selected item, and we convert that to a string. So we're making both of them strings. And then we have result, which is just sets a sentence. So cost for France is in the currency dot total cost. And currency was just pretty much just a it's a class. So Java is an object oriented language. And so pretty much, I don't know earlier if you saw when I typed it, and here it said object. So we had total cost, which is just, just the computed cost. Total cost equals whatever the user selects. Hopefully that makes sense. It kind of helps if you guys kind of just change the numbers a bit, maybe. Or just honestly, what helped me a lot was me looking at the code and making it make sense to myself. So we go back to our app. We could just do one ticket, and then instead of France, we could use Spain or Mexico. It doesn't matter. Compute that, and it's going to be 799 or 79.99, and that's how you would do a case project 3.1. Hopefully I didn't confuse you. The next projects I'm going to do, it won't be as I'm going to call it sloppy, just because I didn't remember how to do a spinner and all that, like how I did with the button. But as we progress, it's going to be more smoothly, and we'll understand it more the more times we practice, because practice makes perfect. So let's go ahead and just end the video here. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you like the series and you want to become aware of when I post a new video. In the comments, leave suggestions, questions. If you still clearly don't understand it, leave a question. If you do have tips or helpful tips for people watching this video and you think you can explain it better than I could, go ahead and leave a comment. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.